Hello, and welcome to ABCCM's Allocated Timesheet tutorial. This form can be found on ABCCM's intranet under Documents and Payroll Forms, or you can ask your supervisor. This form is self-calculating thanks to Cami Doty's careful programming, so you can keep your socks on. Let's get started. First, you'll want to select the pay period end date from the drop-down menu here. Our pay periods run in 2-week increments from midnight on Thursday morning until Wednesday at midnight 2 weeks later. Here I'm selecting September 11th, 2019. Notice once I've made the selection, all of the dates are pre-filled for you. Next, I'll enter my name, John Rakes, and my ministry, which is Veteran Services of the Carolinas. Since it's long, it doesn't fit, so I'm going to abbreviate it to VSC. And I'll put in my old position, Case Manager. Now, it's time to enter the hours I've worked for this pay period. You can enter this daily and save it if your schedule varies, or you can fill this out at the end of the pay period. Either way, it's advisable to keep a daily record of your hours worked and the grant projects you're working under, so you can refer back to it when needed. This timesheet accepts 12-hour time as well as military or 24-hour time, so whether you're used to reporting to work at 8 a.m. or at 0800, you're covered either way. On Thursday, I reported to work at 8 o'clock. And I left for lunch at noon. I came back from lunch at 1 o'clock. Notice that when I typed in 1 o'clock, the timesheet defaulted to AM. This will happen to any number that you enter that's less than 12. To correct this, you can either type PM for afternoon entries or use military time, which is 1300. And I left for the day at 5 o'clock PM. Now, my work hours are automatically calculated at 8 hours. The next thing that I need to do is assign activity for those hours. This will tell payroll and bookkeeping what grants to charge my hours to. If you work under one grant program, that's simple, and you'll assign all hours to that program. If you work for multiples, you'll enter those here. So I work under SSVF and HVRP. Let's see, for this day I worked 4 hours on SSVF and 4 hours for HVRP. Now, this may not always work out the same, and that's okay. Just be sure to manage your time so that the average number of hours assigned to each grant for the pay period is in line with what your supervisor has instructed you to work. Friday is going to be a repeat of Thursday, and I can either enter all that in again manually, or I can just highlight these cells, hold down Control and C to copy, highlight the cells for Friday, and hold down Control and V to paste. That saves a few keystrokes. You're also welcome to enter it in manually. And I'll put another 4 hours for SSVF and 4 hours for HVRP for Friday. I'm now at the weekend, and I didn't work at all over the weekend, so I'm going to leave those blank. We come to Monday, which is September 2nd, and that was Labor Day, a paid holiday. That's my favorite. Since I didn't work any hours on Monday, I'm not going to put anything in the hours worked area. Instead, I'm going to come over to the benefit hours section here. Now, in this section, you'll see that the columns are headed with the types of leave or benefits that are most commonly used: vacation, holiday, personal, United Way, and sick. This last column here is titled Other, and that's where you'll handwrite in other types of leave that you may use rarely. Those are things like bereavement, jury duty, unpaid leave, and FMLA. My leave for this day was just a regular paid holiday, so I'm going to come to the holiday column and the Monday row and enter 8 for 8 hours. Now I'll assign grant activity for those and come back to Tuesday. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday were also very typical days for me. So I'm just going to use the Control-C and Control-V options to paste in the hours for those days. That'll save some time. And assign grant activity for those days. Now, this brings me to Friday. And on Friday, I took a vacation day which had already been approved by my supervisor. I'll enter those 8 hours into the vacation column and assign grant projects. So here I have vacation, there's Friday, 8 hours for Friday, and I'll put in 4 and 4 for grant activity. I'm at the weekend again, and I didn't work, so I'm going to leave that blank. Monday was pretty hectic. I came in as usual at 8 o'clock in the morning, but I worked straight through lunch. I ate a sandwich at my desk and didn't leave until 6 p.m. So I clocked in 10 hours for that day. I'm going to assign grant activity here, 4 and 4, which doesn't exactly add up to 10, but I'll come back to that. Just ignore it for now. Now, Tuesday and Thursday were regular days, so I'm going to paste in hours for those days. 8 and 8, assign grant activity. And that brings me to the end of the pay period. Now, all I need to do is double check my entries to make sure that everything looks right, double check my totals to make sure everything calculated correctly. So I'll go back up, give everything a once over. Everything's looking really good. I got 40 hours for this week and 42 hours for the next week. It gives me a total of 82 hours. My 8 hours of paid holiday is there, and my 8 hours of vacation is here. Oh, but when I come down here, I see this is highlighted in red, and most errors will trigger a red alert. Now, here, this is in the total grant project allocated section, and this number should always be 100%, not a shade over or shade under. I already know where this error was, so I don't have to hunt too much. It was where I misentered the total for these 10 hours. 4 and 4 is 8, not 10. So I need to correct that to 5 and 5. And you can see that corrected the issue. We're back in the black at 100%. Now I'll sign this and turn it in according to my ministry's procedures. That's all for now. Don't forget the instructions tab here in case you get stuck. Thanks for watching.